Um, I'm shocked that this police constable who tried to reason, just imagine a police constable who has been taught criminal law, just criminal law, in Kiganjo at a junior training wing in Kiganjo, trying to correct a cabinet secretary who is not just a lawyer, but who was teaching law in one of the law schools in one of our universities. It is quite shocking that when, so it is really unfair in the society when the wrong are rewarded and the right people are punished. This young son, I'm old enough to be his father, this young son was just talking the obvious. When it comes to the usage of firearm, that thing in every squad of the recruits in Kiganjo, they are taught. There is a lesson that is called justifiable use of firearm. Now, I don't think the law that is taught in junior training wing, as a former inspector of police, I was a former student of senior training wing. But I'm saying a very simple, obvious lesson that is taught in junior training wing. And during my time, it was being taught to illiterate people. Now, when somebody, a young boy with his maybe D plus, corrects things, he is seen to be punished. I remember when the case came for Samido to be transferred to Gilgil, the inspector general said it is a normal transfer, and even sarcastically asked where he's going. Don't we have his rank mate? I'm seeing the way I'm reading things from where I am, like the case of Masengeli was being asked by journalists, a very obvious thing, what is happening in town, and he would answering. The picture, we let us not cheat ourselves. Everybody from corporal to inspector general of police, they are not making their decisions. The corporal is not making a decision at the section head. Inspector is not making a decision at platoon head, or even the DIG making a decision on behalf of his service, or the inspector general making a decision without fearing somebody up there. That is unfortunate. I'll not even use the word unfair. I'll say it is unfortunate. We should not end up here. This young boy just talked the obvious. He talked, if I can remember, he talked of 3 levels of talkings. He talked of what is taught in Kiganjo. And you see, what is taught in Kiganjo, recruit is taught law by inspector. And I don't think an inspector can be equated to a lawyer when it comes to law. Not just a lawyer. Honorable Murkomen, Senator Murkomen, was a law lecturer at the university. Now, situation has come to a place where somebody who is wrong, he gets backup from people like Koech, people like the president. Somebody who is wrong, he gets a backup. Somebody who is right is taken to transfer. When Samido was transferred, and I know this other constable also, he'll also be told where you are going. Don't you have people there? I want to say three things here. If it were a normal transfer in a normal circumstance, I would really have accepted that. But do you know that transferring him after talking things that you didn't want him to talk, not only are you giving the picture that you're punishing him, but even you are giving the people in Todonyang, I've worked in those areas. I've worked in those areas. I'll talk about my transfer to Todonyang. I'll tell you, many people don't know that. But don't you think that if something like that happens and you transfer him, you are sending him a message that in future you tell him shoot to the leg, shoot to the head, he shoots. But if he doesn't shoot, and that is what Mukhwana has been saying. I don't know whether people have been listening to Mukhwana. Mukhwana says, alleges that when he tried to counter that, he was told, who are you to question your superiors? Now, what Mukhwana said, what Mukhwana alleged a few weeks ago, is now coming out properly with this other police officer. It's quite unfortunate. So you are sending a message. One, you are sending a message that if you don't speak according to the script, you'll go to Todonyang. That is the first message. If you'd have transferred him, this is what in law they say. The truth has to be no the case has to be proven beyond reasonable doubt. Here we are having a reasonable doubt. The second aspect is this: we are talking of the beyond reasonable doubts, and then there is also I can't really say exactly what they say, but they say that justice has to be done, and not only has it got to be done, but it has to be seen to be done. Now, to tell somebody who used to work in operation area that is going back to an operation area after he had said so, it may be justice is being done, but it is not being seen to be done. It is not being seen to be done. We have operation area and then we have other operation areas. Let me tell you the truth. Kapenguria is considered operation area. For example, a police officer in Kapenguria police station is considered to be in the operation area just like a police officer in Todonyang. So I'm just saying that even in operation areas, there are others which are worse than others. I said the first point is you are giving this person an impression that you're punishing him. And then when he goes there, those one in Todonyang will know that this is a place, huku ndio wanatupa watu hawajui kazi, ama huku ndio wanatupa watu hawatakikani kazi. So it means that whoever sent you there in the first place alikuwa na kutupa. That is the impression we are all giving, and that is the unfortunate thing we are going to do. That is what I've been seeing. Mr. President, you want to build a church for God, yet you are against police and civilians harmonizing. What are you getting in civilian? I mean, I may be wrong, but the president on one side is giving us the impression that he's a very godly man, and you see there is nothing as good as godly as loving your fellow person. Some of us people are insisting that we have that national convention, and like other things, other commissions that have been set aside, this convention will only have sitting allowances for the commissioners and something like that, or even it will be arranging for traveling, because if the convention has to be done in a place like Lodwar, the commissioners from Nairobi we will have to have a budget for their going to that place and back. That is the only thing. But after that, they will have set a seed where other people will go that. Why do you, Mr. President, want to give the impression that you plus your minister for internal security plus coach the chairman of the defense and intelligence committee, why are you giving an impression that you want the police to 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 to, to, to use arms against, as if they're the occupying force? Is there something you are gaining from it? As a Christian, the biggest church you can build is the church where there is harmony. There is harmony. Right now, we are seeing videos of police officers shouting and saying, we have permission to kill you and nothing will happen to us. We have Subarus without number plates living in its trail, uh, bodies on both sides of the road. Are you happy as I mean, okay, forget that you are the president, forget what. But I'm talking to the young boy who got saved at Kapsabet High School. Are you happy about that? Didn't you repeatedly say that police would not be used against the people? Hey, sometimes I get the impression that 2027 maybe I will vote for the four positions. Is it four? For all the starting with the governor, senator, MP, women rep, and MCA. If things go this way, uh, some of us will boycott voting for the presidential whatever. Because what I've seen in life, what I've seen in experience, look at Kenyatta, suffered a lot during the colonial time. The first thing he did when he came out, he rushed to the town hall in Nakuru to pledge loyalty to the Wazungu and turn his back against Mau Mau. Mau Mau had to stay for decades. They had to be uh, recognized by Kibaki over 40 years after independence. Mm. Moi used to be backbeaten, and when he became the president, he became the commander in chief of Songi Songi. Even right now, people like Kalonzo Musyoka, he'll swear at when I get there. But what you people do, I don't know. Somebody said that it is because State House was built by Freemasons. Maybe. Because once you take oath, you turn against the very same people that you campaigned and swore to protect. Just like Jomo Kenyatta had even to spend uh, over 7 years in detention. We are not even talking of restriction. You add more years in restriction to make it 9. But when he became independent, and then Mr. President, I have an understanding of this. Jomo Kenyatta and Daniel Arap Moi both were commanders in chief of the armed forces. Mwai Kibaki, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, and you yourself, you are the commander in chief of Kenya Defense Forces. By that, my interpretation is this: you are the commander of the military. When we started this, what do you call the 2010 Constitution, the powers of the president over the police was removed. Many people do not know, but employing of the commission of police was the joke of the president before the 2010. I will give just two examples. I'll just give two examples. The first example was Moi had disagreed. Moi had an argument with Bernard Njenga Hinga. The Bernard Njenga, they were in the state house. They had a very heated argument uh, over police work, and Hinga told him, "You are the president, and I am the commissioner of police. Just let me do my work." The president said, "Okay, you go and do your work. When ndio unajua mengi kunishinda." When Hinga went to Vigilance House, he saw on his door the name tag that is placed on the door. It was written Ben Gethi, Commissioner of Police. When he opened the door, He saw Ben Gedhi seated on his seat and wearing the same epaulets as he is. That is one of the two examples I can give. The second example was the same Gedhi, whereby Bernard Njinu was called by the president. He was the head of the presidential escort at State House. So the President Moi called him and told him, I want to make you the commissioner of police. Do you accept? Then he said, I accept. Then Moi took the hotline and rang somebody whom Gino did not know. He told that person that when that commissioner of police has arrived in Kamiti prison, please call me. That is why the National Police Service was started, because of what we are now facing. If you see, we reach, and I'll say it again and again, if we reach an extent where a whole deputy inspector general, a whole deputy inspector general of police is afraid to talk freely because he knows, I mean, he's not afraid of the millions of people who are watching the TV, but is afraid of one person who will watch that. That is very bad. That is very bad. Mr. President, why don't you call for this discussion where police officers and civilians can meet and talk? They can meet and talk. This thing, as I said, and I'll keep on saying, that it doesn't cost the government much. It only costs the government moving these commissioners. The commissioners will be in that, can I call it reconciliation commission, uh, taking them to places like Lodwar and Mandera, and maybe organizing where to sleep and a few. But it will not, at the end of the day, they'll have planted a seed, and the government, it is now upon, for example, I have an idea that we talk to all the OCSs in Kenya and all majors in Kenya and all assistant chiefs and chiefs in Kenya. We have discussions with them. Then when chiefs have barazas with people, and when OCS and majors have got their timam, they pass the message to that. Why are you against that? And even after that, you see, all former presidents in Kenya's past presidents usually start a committee where they use that committee as an excuse for people to cool down. Hey, there is tension. Oh, you are going to have a commission. People go give their speeches. They go whatever it is written. When the committee is giving the president the final presentation, the president says that all the recommendations that I'll make sure that all the recommendations that are contained in this report will be fully implemented. But what does it happen? In the actual sense, the president is saying that all the recommendation in this committee will be fully disregarded. But you have gone even a step further. You have even refused to have such a thing. Maybe you have come to a realization that why waste people's time in giving them hope in a commission that you do not want to listen to it. In the first place, you are not even interested in solving that problem. So why give people false hope? That is very bad. But let me tell you, Mr. President, one of these things, you said recently that some people are trying to incite the masses against the government. No, what the masses are having a problem is like what I've just said. You bring up a commission, people discuss whatever, people have hope, and then you dash hope. And I tell you, this is the nearest it ever happened. Next time, maybe when it happened, we will never have a country to be there. The country will burn down. And let me tell you, I have seen opposition people trying to associate themselves with the GNC, but GNC keeps on saying that that the opposition and the government are both not for them. But let me tell you that it is better to have a single person opposing you than a partyless, clueless people like this. These are people who will burn the country down, and when they burn the country down, it will take those kids who are being born today are the ones who will now find the country on its level. It will take decades for the country to do that. But then I'm getting this thing. Raila has in the past been called Muganga. But then do we say he's a Muganga? Why is it that every president, once they shake hands with Raila, they they don't care about anything? Impunity come. Uh, Jomo Kenyatta's time, Raila was a nobody. Let me talk about Moi. You can see how Moi behaved after the cooperation and merger of NDP with KANU 1997. You saw it. Moi became, he said, after all, I've pocketed the person who can make noise. Uh, in 2007, I remember, and I got very, very annoyed when people continued killing each other. Kibaki himself went to an extent and said, Kibaki himself went to an extent of saying, if why are people still killing each other when I and Raila have shaken hands? Said that? Really? Did I hear you right? I hope I didn't. I hope somebody corrects me and say Kibaki never said so. And that was Kibaki. When we saw how Uhuru behaved after shaking hands with Raila on the steps of Arambe House, and now you, after you conquered Raila, you can see the way things have changed. The next step you became is now to use internal security against the various civilians. Uh, it hurts me. It hurts me, especially me being your person, and it is not pleasing for me to come and start thinking of maybe in 2027. Yes, I'll vote for the other position, but not the presidency. It is a big statement that you should think about it. This young man was transferred from Machakos to Todenyang. I want to say I have Hwatenge has historical facts with the Todenyang on 2 occasions. Edward Kwalanda Hwatenge once worked in Kamathia. He worked at Kamathia. Kamathia is just, in fact, if you talk of Todenyang being bad, then you have not been to Kamathia. He was transferred to Kamathia and he worked there in 1983. Edward's father, I said Edward Kwalanda. Lando is the immediate follower of Kwalanda. So he's kwa Kiswahili ni ndugu yangu, but in English is my cousin. He used to work in Kamathia police post near Todonyang. I also want to say this, in 1987, Chief Inspector Jamin Simiwa Nambisi wanted to transfer me to Elmi Triangle. He wanted me to be in charge of intelligence gathering in the Elmi Triangle. Elmi Triangle, if you can check it on the northwestern upper part of Kenya, which covers, I think Elmi Triangle by itself it's in size it's bigger than Kakamega County. It happened like this. Jackson Cheseto, Constable Jackson Cheseto, was to go there, but Cheseto had 2 issues that made him not have problems. The 2 problems were related to each other. The first one is his son. His son had scored 3 A minus, A minus, A minus, A minus. That is 33 points in standard 7 CPE, and the son was called to Cheoyet, and somebody commented and said, hata wale wanasoma wanakufaga. Shortly after that, the son died mysteriously. As Africans, we thought, or they thought, that Cheseto's son had been bewitched, and the person who said so did not even attend that funeral. So one day when they were having vigil. They went and locked this man in his house from outside and lighted his grass-thatched house. Jackson Cheseto was still mourning his son. And then again, I remember visiting him in the police cells in Kitale, where the office really fought for him and said, if people, if you have a fire vigil in your house and the people leave your place and go and kill somebody, are you guilty? He won the case and he continued there. So the office was complaining. The office was complaining that he still has to be around mourning his son, and even after the case that he had, he should relax. And then the office asked them to give an alternative name. I overheard Chief Inspector Jamin Wanambisi Simiyu calling the province, Rift Valley province, and saying Watenge has offered to go there, has offered to replace him. And then that day, coincidentally, I went to the police station and found a signal where they were saying subordinate police officers who want to be transferred to Northeastern on voluntary basis should go there. And that is how I offered, I drafted the signal that I want to go to Northeastern, but I said I wanted to go to Mandera. I said I wanted to go to Mandera. So when I took the signal, he didn't know that I had overheard him. So when I took it there, he said, you are Form 6, you unafanya kazi mzuri. He was trying to talk well to me so that when the transfer for that place comes, first of all, he would be talking, when the province, Rift Valley, sees my signal saying that I'm going to, offering to go to Elmi Triangle. Todonyang is part of the Elmi Triangle. Then they would see the signal and do that. But then when the transfers came, I was when the transfer came, my transfer came from the national headquarters. But then Andrew, there was somebody called Andrew, a Pokot from Sigor. He's the one who was taken to Denyang, to Elmi Triangle. So that is, it's a place I said I have two experiences. Kwatenge family has two experiences. Edward Kwalanda Kwatenge worked in Kimathi police post, and I was going to be taken to Elmi Triangle. So it is, I know when somebody tells me that the person is being transferred, somebody who used to work in a hardship area, now after he tells his colleagues to follow what they were taught in Kiganjo, he's now being told to go to Todenyang. It's a place that I know. I have always believed that I can be in the committee which should go around. Now I believe that people like this constable are better placed than even me to have that reconciliation commission between the people who are there. I now know why, as I said, why DIG Masengeli was, town is okay, whatever. We are now seeing a situation where police officers are afraid of making their own decision, and whatever. Some decisions are being made beyond them. Mr. President, let me remind you one thing. Some of us, we read things from here. There is even a time when NIS didn't want to do anything with me because they were thinking that I was talking of things which were happening there at that time. There was a meeting. It was in Narok. Was it Madaraka Day? Was it Mashujaa Day? I cannot recall which day it was, but there was such a celebration in Narok, whereby the county commissioner then, not the county commissioner, the county governor then requested the president and commander-in-chief Uhuru Muigai that the bridge that the military people are using be retained there for good. When the governor was talking that, the president bent over and talked to the CDF and told him how to do it. The CDFs then summoned the brigadier in charge of engineering. The brigadier in charge of engineering said, no, that bridge cannot remain. That bridge cannot remain because it is a temporary bridge and whatever. But he told the CDF, and the CDF told the then president, the then commander in chief, said that the bridge will be there until the military makes a permanent good bridge there, so that they can now carry people from Narok. I think you're watching me. They can do that. Mr. President, that was a commander in chief requesting the military to honor what the governor has done. And you see, the president, as you are, the constitution allows you to command the military. But the 2010 constitution removed the president or any other person. The final person, the person that the inspector general is supposed to be afraid of, the DIG is supposed to be afraid of, is none other than the National Police Service Commission. But then right now I'm getting an impression that there is somebody who said that the constitution is what is in the heart. The constitution is what is in the heart. We can have the best constitution written and whatever, but if we don't fulfill it, it is useless. But we can have the most useless constitution, but the people who are doing it, they fulfill it in a very fair manner and whatever. So I'm just saying that just like somebody had once even said that sheria ni karatasi tu inaandikwa, that is what I'm saying. Because right now what we are having is called the Kenya Police Service. But when I look at it, I start saying, my dear Jesus, if this is what is a police service, then can you please revert us back to the police force? Because that police force was more friendlier to the people than the police service. Mr. President, are you raising up robots instead of police officers? Well, that is what I'm getting the impression. Or what do you call? We have these remote controlled robots. Things are happening that every police officer is afraid of making a decision and whatever. But as I will keep on saying, and I'll still say as I about to finish what I'm saying, is that the police officers should stick to what they were taught at a subject called, there are two subjects. There's one called PPT and one is called PPPF. Double P and then a T, or the other one is triple P and F. PPT and PPPF. Go and read that. Go and read that. Especially on that subject that is called use of firearm by the police. Just stick to that. Stick to that, and I can tell you that some of us are, people look at us and say, Mzee, I've even had to produce my ID to show that I'm 65. Some people look at me and say, you look like you're 45 or something. It is because we stuck by that use of firearm by the police. Yeah, I'm getting old. It says justifiable instances when a police officer can use fire. And I can tell you, those justifiable instances do not include what a law lecturer said, the Minister for Internal Security said, that mtu akikaribia polisi, piga hii risasi. It does not even include the president saying, piga hii risasi, peleka hospitali, alafu peleka kotini. Or it does not even does to whatever Koech is saying. Justifiable instances are there. And once you do your job in the justifiable instance, you will live the rest of your life a very happy and contented person. Remember, and I'm talking to the police officers, the intention of every incident. We have, what can we say? we have these vehicles. I think there are some Kenyans here who move around with vehicles worth 40 million shillings. Leave alone a supermarket. Just a vehicle 40. Is it called Benta or something? Somebody can come with 100 liters of fuel, eh, and burn that thing. But you see this thing about killing, and I'm shocked that a law lecturer does not. Anyway, let the NIS person in me say so. Say this, eh? This person has burned the supermarket. This person has burned a Benta vehicle worth 50 million shillings. You shoot and kill that person. Big mistakes. Yes, he is guilty and is done whatever. He has caused, what do you call this? There is this man who was, who was a hawker. Murada or something, a supermarket. He has two very big supermarkets starting from his hawking. She is now worse than even a hawker now. Why don't we arrest this person, take him somewhere, we collect intelligence there. We collect intelligence from that person. No sane person can leave his house, take a 20-liter jerrycan uh, of petrol to go and burn a supermarket. There could be more to it, but if you shoot and kill him, how would you know? That one would, you'll see a supermarket being burned in Kayole. Another supermarket will be burned in Kawangware. Another one will be, we will, we may even die without knowing that these things are being coordinated by one person. But if you arrest this person in a good, fair association, you will mine a lot of intelligence from that person. Simple.